Hi, this is Dancing Rabbit, and welcome to another late weekend pagan perspective. This for first week in April. Today's question has to do with immortalism and whether it would be okay for an immortalist to take part in or to do a Wiccan Sabbat. I guess first a few definitions, as if the other hosts haven't already pretty well defined it, but just so you know where I'm coming from. As I understand it, an immortalist is a person who seeks through mundane and magical means to prolong their physical life, basically forever, to never physically die. Whether that's possible, whether that's desirable, are two other questions. But getting right to the one at hand, is it okay for an immortalist to take part in a Wiccan Sabbat ritual, since Wicca has to do with the balance of life, death, and rebirth, and there's pretty much an acceptance that death isn't a bad thing. It's, as Forrest Gump's mother used to say, it's just part of living. My opinion as a Wiccan-based pagan is that it's okay for you as an immortalist to take part in one of our rituals, as long as it's not something that makes you uncomfortable or that you feel that the energy raised or the intent of a Wiccan ritual would somehow diminish or tarnish the work that you are doing as an immortalist. I mean, if it's okay with you, it's okay with me. I think that Wiccan ritual, the whole idea of the Wheel of the Year, yes, it has to do with your own personal birth, life, death, and perhaps rebirth, but it also has to do with the cycle of the gods and the cycle of nature. So even with one of the most death-related Sabbats, Samhain, for example, I think that an immortalist might approach this as a celebration of the cycle of nature, that even though I, as an immortalist, don't plan to ever die, I've stepped outside of that cycle. I realize that the plants and the animals do still go through that cycle, that the gods go through that cycle, particularly in Wicca, the horned god is a dying and rising god. And, as far as honoring the ancestors, perhaps you as an immortalist don't plan to ever physically die. However, your grandparents and great-grandparents who weren't immortalists did. And so at Samhain you could honor them that way. Now, whether this will affect your immortalist magic in an adverse way or not, I couldn't say. And I'm not really sure that anyone could. So that's a decision that you'll have to make. As far as mixing and mingling Wicca and immortalism, in my opinion, it would be rather difficult. I agree with a couple of the other hosts that the whole idea of immortalism is quite the opposite of the basic idea in Wicca and Wiccan-based paganism, that life and death are two quite compatible halves of the whole of life. That death is not bad or evil; it's just part of it. Now, personally, I don't have a great deal of, I guess, maybe faith in or emphasis on reincarnation or some future lives or some past lives. For me, my paganism is very much about this life, here and now, in this very beautiful world, and trying to make it just a little bit better than it was before I got here. Not trying to give nature a makeover. That's a little presumptuous and probably quite impossible, but at least not messing things up worse. So I hope that I've answered your question. I don't really know how many immortalists there are out there. I've never personally run into one, met one. But that's kind of my take on it. I'll be trying to get the videos up on time, and next week I hope to be uploading a video from the Council for the Magical Arts, where I'll be at their Samhain festival. I'm sorry, my bad, wrong time of the year. The Beltane Festival. Sometimes here in Houston it's hard to tell what season it is. Anyway, till next week, this is Dancing Rabbit, wishing you all peace.